Today, I took the plunge and I decided to sign up for an Orange Theory class. If you've ever wanted to know about Orange Theory, I can be a conduit for that. So I have no expectations, but I'm really hoping that this will help jumpstart my fitness in a way that's refreshing. Even though I love running, I feel like I need a little bit more, and I hope this is it.
Happy 1 year Orange Theory anniversary! That is correct. It has been 1 year, over 1 year actually, of Orange Theory. 56,000 calories, 2,089 splat points, 1,027 red zones. I mean, it almost sounds like that beginning song from Rent. I mean, time really just flies when you're stretching, sweating, running, and nearly throwing up in every single class. But being real and talking from the heart about Orange Theory, this last year has been really, really fun. And I have enjoyed every single second of my Orange Theory journey over the last year. Because I've enjoyed it so much, I am a loyal, die-hard follower of the Orange Army. And even though it might be a cult, like I've mentioned in this video, I am a proud member of that cult and I am okay with that. So since it's been 1 year of Orange Theory, I kind of want to celebrate my progress and kind of look back at what Orange Theory was at the beginning to me and how it's evolved over time. In addition, I want to kind of track my progress and show y'all how much I have changed over the last year. And so I know I did a video at 1 month kind of documenting my progress, and since then I've been a little quiet about it, but I've continuously been going to Orange Theory, and I want to compare that first month to that first video that I did when I started to now. So let's do that. Also, I need to put this down, but it's so much fun, so I'm just gonna do one more. All right, on to the video. Now, if this is your first time seeing an Orange Theory video from me, welcome. There is a whole playlist of basically just Orange Theory stuff. I started Orange Theory in October of last year, 2021. But if you've never seen any videos about Orange Theory or you're new to it, Orange Theory has 3 main components: a running, rowing, and then a block section that's on the floor, which is weights and weightlifting and things like that. So since there are 3 different components of Orange Theory, I thought we would split this video up into those 3 components and then compare my progress in those 3 disciplines throughout the year. And then at the end, I would kind of like to talk about how I've changed with Orange Theory and how my body has changed throughout Orange Theory, but that'll be at the end to cap off the video. So let's first dive into the first discipline. So according to my Orange Theory app, in the last year, I have ran a total of 192.8 miles on the treadmill, which by my calculations is about half a mile per day. Although I know that a half mile might not be a lot to some people, that is just the mileage that I accumulated during the classes, not including things I did outside of class, running on my own, walking, anything like that. That is just in the class. I have ran 192 miles. So to me, I think that's pretty impressive, and that's a really cool thing. I think on average, I would say, just kind of like anecdotally, I kind of run anywhere from 2 to 3-ish miles every single day in class. Every class I go to, just depends on what the workout is for that week and what we're doing. So again, according to the app, I've ran 198.2 miles. I've walked over 300,000 steps. I've climbed an elevation totaling 14,902 feet, which for context, according to the Wikipedia article for Mount Everest is roughly 29,000 feet in elevation. So I'm basically halfway up Mount Everest if you go by that standard. So those are a few of the basic stats, but now that we've looked at the basic stats, let's move on to the benchmarks. Okay, for those of you who aren't like in the know, a benchmark is basically a tool that is supposed to track your progress. For example, a 1 mile for time or a 2,000 meter row. Those are some examples of some benchmarks. And if you complete these benchmarks once, they are saved in your app. And so if you ever complete that workout, because the workouts pretty much cycle through, but if you complete one benchmark at one time, theoretically, if you do that benchmark again, you're able to compare your times, your distance, all of that to the first go round. So basically, it's like used as a tool for comparison to kind of show yourself if you're getting better with Orange Theory classes or if you're improving in certain elements that you've been working on. For the treadmill, I've completed 2 benchmarks. Unfortunately, I have not repeated the benchmarks for these, so there is no direct comparison, but I completed these 2 challenges at very different points in my Orange Theory fitness journey. So I think that they can still be compared even though they're not exactly similar. So the first benchmark that I completed is the 12-minute run for distance. Basically, you get on a treadmill, you have 12 minutes, however far you go in those 12 minutes is recorded, and then you can go and do another benchmark and theoretically compare. So I completed this benchmark when I was very new to Orange Theory, and I was like less than a month into Orange Theory, and I did not know what to expect. So during this 12-minute run for time, I ran a 1.37 miles. So this equates to like an 8:45 minute per mile, which is pretty good for endurance, but I feel like this was when I was very new. I didn't really know that I could push it to a certain limit. So I think that it was good, but it wasn't great. So the second benchmark I have for the tread is the mile. Now, for those of you who went through the US public education system like I did, you have probably ran the mile at some point in your life, but this was like the mile on the treadmill, which is a little bit different than completing it on a track. There are bad memories associated for some of us, but this one was actually pretty good for me. So I ran this mile in the past summer, so summer 2022, and we're comparing it to the 12-minute run for distance, which was in the fall of 2021. When I did it this summer, I felt more confident and I knew what to expect because I had been going to Orange Theory a little bit longer and just kind of knew where my boundaries were and how to push those. So during this benchmark, I ran a 6:38 minute mile, which rivals what I used to run in track. So it rivaled the times when I was in high school, which I was like, that's wild. But I was really proud of myself for this. And so in comparison to my other benchmark, which is a little bit different, but I ran a whole 2 minutes faster during this mile benchmark than I did during the 12-minute run for distance. There's a 2-minute difference, even though they are different disciplines or components or benchmarks. I think that there can still be made a comparison. So before we move on, I kind of wanted to mention something about the treadmill, which is not something that's incredibly tangible like those benchmarks, but something that I have felt. So I've definitely noticed an increase in my speed. For instance, my base pace went from 5 miles per hour to 6 miles per hour. My push pace went from 7 miles per hour to 8.5 or above miles per hour. And definitely my all outs have just increased by so much. I remember when I first got into Orange Theory, I felt like 8 miles per hour was like my ultimate top for my all outs and I could not go faster. But now I'm consistently in the 10s or sometimes getting up to 11. And so I definitely increased my all out sprinting time. And so for me, that's very confident, even though it's like not as tangible as those concrete times. For me, I'm like very proud of how fast I've been going and like feeling more strong and better on the treadmill, which has also transitioned into my actual running on the road. I feel like when I'm road running and when I'm doing longer distances, I feel more confident in my stride and I feel better about my whole entire run. Now, moving on to the next station, the rower. Bum, bum, bum. So if you've never used a rowing machine before, it is so incredibly tough, and anyone who's used it before, you know, like 5 minutes in, you're like, I'm done. Never put me on this thing ever again. I'm hating my life. So I would say that it is one of the toughest pieces of equipment on the whole entire gym floor. Dare I say it's even tougher than the Stairmaster, which like I thought was physically impossible. Anyway, it literally, like the rower works every single muscle in your body. Even muscles you didn't know were there, they're going to be worked during a row. And even though every single muscle is crying out for help and you basically want to die, I absolutely love the rower. And not gonna lie, not trying to brag, but trying to humble brag, I guess, I'm pretty good at the rower. So I enjoy the rower and I feel like I'm pretty okay at it. So anyway, let's get into the comparison. So when I first started rowing, I could only go like 100 watts, but I think that was more about my form. I really didn't know until like a coach came over and helped me. Like I was doing the rower all wrong. I did not know how to use the rower. I was like not doing the, like they say you're supposed to like use your legs and then your back and then your arms. It's like a whole entire production and it's like a certain procedure, but I was not doing it. So I was going like very slow, but I'm proud to say that now I can easily get in within the 200 watts, and my upper bounds of like my all out, if I was really pressed for a row, would be above 300. So those are definitely some tangible like differences from when I started to now. But if you want even more tangibles, I got them. So in terms of benchmarks for the rowers, so benchmarks are actually incredibly relevant because in the time that I'm filming this, I just completed a benchmark like very recently. And so I have like a very up-to-date knowledge of how my rowing's going. So in terms of the benchmarks, I first did a benchmark in December 2021, which was a 2,000 meter row, which is difficult. It's a hard thing. It is, oh my gosh, it's so difficult. But I rode those 2,000 meters in 8 minutes and 14 seconds, which is, I think that's pretty good. Just finishing a 2,000 meter row, you're good in my book. Then I did this benchmark, this same exact benchmark, the 2,000 meter row again in March of 2022. And this time I rode for 7 minutes and 32 seconds, which complete difference. Both of them are good in my book, but like definitely you can see that there was like almost a 45-second drop. So that's great. And as for the 500 meter benchmark, so in November of 2021, I rode 500 meters in 2 minutes and 3 seconds. And then in October 2022, the most recent benchmark I did, which was like literally a week ago, I rode the 500 meters in 1 minute and 38 seconds, which is over 20 seconds of a difference, which seems like it shouldn't be that much, but this is like incredibly, like there's a lot of difference between those two. And I was exceedingly proud of myself for this row. I like called my mom. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And she was like, I don't know what you're talking about. But like for me in my heart, I was very excited about this. So as you can see through the tangibles of the benchmarks, I have definitely improved in the rowing category. So on to the final component. Unlike the other two disciplines, for the floor, there's not much to say. There isn't a benchmark or anything like that to kind of show the actual difference in how much I've been lifting, but I will just say anecdotally, I have definitely felt I've increased the amount of weight that I've been lifting, like the heaviness of the weights that I start with or begin with. I just feel like I've gotten more confident in like grabbing the heavier weights or going to the back where they have like the even heavier weights and grabbing those for certain exercises. So I'm really feeling confident in like how much I've been lifting. And so even though you're just gonna have to like trust me, I guess, because there is no real like, we don't do like Olympic weightlifting, so you're just gonna have to trust me. Now, let's talk about the juicy bits. So in this section, I'm going to talk about my body, and if this triggers you or you have any kind of like triggers around weight loss and talks of discussions about losing weight, we'll catch you in the next one. Thanks for joining, but this is, the body talk. So with that warning out of the way, let's discuss the juicy bits. And with that, let's talk about how I've seen my body change over the year with Orange Theory. So over the past year, I think I've gone through a lot of changes regarding my body, and I may make a video later on about how my body has changed over the last year. But something important to know is that since the beginning of Orange Theory, I have lost over 17 pounds, which is intense and is a considerable amount. And so I feel like that definitely has made a difference in how I feel during Orange Theory, and like everything regarding Orange Theory has been changed because of the weight loss. So that's something to note. So although I've lost 17 pounds, which is something that I was doing kind of without Orange Theory, I feel like Orange Theory definitely helped with the weight loss, but I don't feel like it was the main contributor. I kind of want to talk about that differently. In addition to this weight loss, I feel like I'm just seeing an extreme amount of muscle gain. I have yet to, at this point where I'm filming it right now, I've yet to do a body comparison, and I know that that's going to be part of this video, and I am kind of nervous for that because like I feel like at the beginning of this channel I did a lot of like sharing what my body looked like, and I was at a very different phase of what my body journey looked like when I started this channel versus now, and I am like happier with not showing my body as much, but I want to do a comparison because it's been a year. So I think that I'll start inserting what that looks like. I just want to say that like it doesn't matter what the body looks like in general. It's just about like feeling happy. And so I feel like I just want to say that Orange Theory has been such a light into my life. I mean, throughout college, I really enjoyed doing group fitness classes and working out with people. Even though I don't really talk during like fitness classes, I'm very like, it's a solitary experience. I like the fact of like someone telling me what to do. And that's really hard to capture outside of like a specific bubble. And so I was really excited to start Orange Theory, and I think ever since then I felt like it's given me like, I don't know, confidence. I felt better about doing workouts outside of Orange Theory, and I just felt like more rounded. I feel like everything has more balance, even though yes, sometimes I wake up and I'm like, I don't feel like going to Orange Theory, or I don't want to. It's like at the end of the day, I know I'm gonna come out of that class and feel just like ecstatic and elated and all these different feelings. So I'm really enjoying that. The mental aspect of that, getting out of the house, has been really nice. And I know that like some gyms are more social, but I feel like even just being around people who are all like-minded in terms of like they love Orange Theory has been kind of nice. To be part of a community is what a lot of people crave in their daily life. So I just wanted to mention that, is that like mentally, socially, and all of the intangible stuff that I get from Orange Theory makes it worth it, in addition to like feeling stronger, my body looking better, things like that. So I wanted to mention that. At the end of the day, like I was saying, Orange Theory has become a fixture of my life, and I honestly can't imagine what I would do without it, just because I like going. Yeah, there's problems. There's things that are like, I wish that they wouldn't do all of these like repeated classes. And I know that like some people who've ever been to Orange Theory are like, oh my gosh, we have like a laundry list of things that we wish we could change. I'm not really interested in that. I just wanted to give an update personally about what I have been feeling about my Orange Theory journey in general and how it's impacted me. I enjoy it. I want to continue going because it gives me a sense of purpose and it makes me feel strong and feel good. So that is all I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed. And if you did, I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.